Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Monday evening. I hope we're all okay. I hope you're all right. I hope the day has treated you all very, very well. Yes, obviously I don't normally do evening lives or videos really as much anymore, but obviously we play Wednesday. We play Wednesday evening at home to Man City, which obviously I think after the weekend that we've just had, I think it's probably not a bad thing that we're playing so quickly after the game yesterday. So we talk about some team news. It's a really interesting one, obviously, with Manchester City and their sort of team selection. I wouldn't even call it a dilemma, but just their team selection situation. We'll be talking about that. They'll be going through a little bit of injury news on their front as well, because there's some stuff there. And yeah, some pretty good stuff, I think. And I'm hopeful that we're a little bit more positive, all of us, myself included, about this. Just want to say, if you're watching this, you're new, subscribe. You're very much welcome to join us for the journey. Evening Spurs, mate, how are we? Dan says, have to win this. We'll get to that in a minute. Evening Sonia, how are you? Yes, look, Man City, a game that I don't think any one of us can sit there and say, we're definitely going to win this. You know, no one's going to be sitting there going, this is ours for the taking. Now, maybe more so than normal, because obviously the way Pep's been talking about the EFL Cup or the League Cup, depending on who you are, he seems to not be taking it as seriously this year. Now, obviously, they've won it about 1 million times over the last 10 years, but they seem to be focusing elsewhere. They're focusing on the Champions League, they're focusing on the Premier League, they're focusing on the FA Cup when that rolls around. And I was sort of looking at the team that they played, the team that played last time out, which was Watford when they won 2-1. I mean, when you have Ortega in goal, a back three of Walker, Stones, Brathwaite, midfield of Lewis, O'Reilly, McAtee, Nunez, Doku, Grealish, and Phil Foden. So, when you look at that team, you're sitting there going, oh, that's a bit weaker, isn't it? If we still think about it, Phil Foden was Premier League Player of the Year. Jack Grealish is a £100 million player. Doku is 60-odd million. Nunez is about 50 to 60 million. Kyle Walker's a £50 million right back. John Stones, £50 million centre back. Yeah, we're talking about a team who, if this is their rotational pieces, that team there is still a top 7-8 team, probably. So, as much as, yes, maybe they may not play the freak alien up front, and maybe some of their other main players aren't playing, I wouldn't sit there and say they're going to be weak. Okay. So looking at that, we'll see. I was sort of looking into the injury situation for Manchester City. Obviously, De Bruyne out injured. Pep said he didn't know what the return date would be. He said, of course, I prefer to have all the squad with the amount of games, but it is what it is. Hopefully he comes back soon. I don't know yet. I would like to tell you, but I don't know. He talked about Kyle Walker, and they were talking about his knee injury, and he said, I think he's not ready. Since being with the national team, he's not been well. So there's that. Grealish is touch and go, they reckon, for this game. They reckon it's probably going to be back for the weekend, if not even further. Jeremy Doku is to miss even longer than that, so we're not going to be dealing with Doku for this game. Rodri, obviously, ACL, not going to be seeing Rodri. And Oscar Bob out until the new year. So that's a lot of really good talent that are out for this game. They're obviously still Man City. They're obviously still, top 2 side of the world. Obviously Real Madrid being Real Madrid from winning the trophies last season, but you'd still sit there and say that's an amazing team. So I was thinking about the team that played last time out against Southampton, because I was thinking, who started for them? Edison in goal, Lewis, Akanji, Diaz, Cavadio, Kovacic, Silva, Foden, Nunez, Savio, and Haaland. And I was looking at the bench, and you had Stones and Gundogan and Ake, obviously Ortega. So they're dealing with injuries, but they've still got some players that we need to be wary of. I'd expect something not too dissimilar to the team that played last weekend against Southampton. Now, I was also looking at the fixtures thinking rotation, obviously, they're going to do, because they actually play Saturday. So you think you play Wednesday evening, you got Thursday, Friday, and then you're back at it again on the Saturday afternoon away to Bournemouth, with also the Champions League following that. So in the space of 6 days, they play 3 times, which is ridiculous. That is ridiculous that they're playing 6 times in a week. So for me, I'm still expecting a really solid team. I mean, see, the last 3 times Spurs have played Man City at the Spurs stadium. So I'm not talking about when when we played at the Etihad. I'm actually talking the last 3 times. In the 21-22 season, first game of the season, we won 1-0 with Son. In 22-23, won 1-0 again with Harry Kane scoring. And then obviously last season, right at the end of the season, Spurs losing 2-0, Haaland getting both of those. So Spurs have had success in this fixture. There's no denying that. Spurs have had some success in this fixture. It's a different, I guess, style fixture due to its cup narrative. Obviously, the narrative after the back end of the last season, we don't have that. You're not aiding Arsenal winning the title or anything because it's the EFL Cup, obviously. Not confident at all for this one. This team is zapping my enthusiasm. Oh, Robert, you're normally a very positive man. God. Hey, Van Gogh, mate, how are you? So, look, that's the Man City side of things. If we talk about the Spurs side of things, obviously, Sonny dealing with an issue from last weekend. I don't expect to see Son play on Wednesday. And actually, I'd much rather him just be fit and raring to go at the weekend. I'd rather just not risk it. Get him in at the weekend. Villa, it's a massive game. And also, you're giving him an extra few more days off. No harm in it. Odegaard, obviously, wasn't on the bench at the weekend. Maybe, obviously not having played a lot of football before coming back. I wouldn't mind seeing him feature. I could see him featuring starting wise on Wednesday. They'll rotate it though pretty decently. I think Dragic, he'll play. I can see Ben Davies playing because Doggy's played a lot of football recently. I expect to see Spence play. Gray, Bergvall, when they feature, you'd say Bentancur's probably going to start. Sarr. The front three for me is a really interesting one though, because I don't see them going full strength in this game. I don't. Not with the amount of football that's coming in and around this sort of last few weeks. I don't see them going strong. I see them going the sort of Richie through the centre. Probably right wing might be Johnson, and then left wing. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Odegaard start personally, but any chance Spence will be back, even if he's back, he'll be extremely rusty. Yeah, well, that's the other thing with him obviously not playing as frequently. Oh, Man United look like they're going to be appointing Ruben Amorim. Interesting. There you go. A little bit of transfer news for you there. In reality, I see a bit of a Europa League situation. I don't see it being as much of a shift around from Europa League because I think, you've got a few days after this until Aston Villa at the weekend. Hence why I think maybe that's at play here. But I would expect to see, some good changes. I think Romero and Van der Ven, one of them's going to be playing. One of them will play. I think Dragicin's going to be the other centre half. You might see Ben Davies at left back, or you might see Spence at left back, and I think Archie Gray might even be your right back. Will he play Porro? Wouldn't shock me either. In the midfield, I think, look, for me, energy, Sarr. I talked about it in my previous video, which if you've missed, I did the review for the Palace game. For me, play Sarr. Play the energy. I think Bentancur as a 6. Will he go the Bergvall route at the 10? I mean, if we're going anything by what Man City are saying, and they're going to be rotating, Man City will be playing a lot of their youngsters. There's no reason why Bergvall couldn't play, or an Archie Gray couldn't play. And then my front three, I think Richie, Jono, and probably a Werner. I don't know if Odegaard will start, but I think Werner's probably what he's going to go with. If Odegaard can give me 60 minutes, I'm going with Odegaard. That's who I really want. I'm super excited by his ability. Hey, goaltender, mate, how are you? So, for me, how I sum this game up, I actually think this will go to penalties. I think a goal-scoring draw, a 1-1, even a 2-2, I think it goes to penalties. And then from there, it's anyone's guess who's going to win it. But I think reality, Well, look, if you're gonna beat City, this is the time. Is it not? I think we need a reaction. The biggest thing I'm looking for. Do you know what? I think even Spurs fans, for the most part, they'd be upset, but I think they'd understand if Spurs go out there and they lose to a team that's playing near enough full strength. But because they're not going to be playing as much of full strength, we can't be taking it lightly. But if you're going to beat them, this would be the time to beat them, would they not? So I think Spurs really need to be sort of on this one to go, yeah, we need a reaction, we need a performance, and we need to go through. Because if you go through, looking at it's round of 16. So you're in the quarterfinals after that, and now you're into the real part of the draw. Just going to bring up the other games, just so we have a bit of an idea. So tomorrow you have Southampton, Stoke, Brentford, Sheffield, Wednesday, Brighton, Liverpool, Preston, Arsenal, Manchester United, Leicester, Newcastle, Chelsea, Aston Villa against Palace, and obviously Spurs, Man City. What I find fascinating is you got to think Brighton, Liverpool, there's a team going out there from the Premier League. Manchester United, Leicester, Newcastle, Chelsea, Villa, Palace, and Spurs, City. So 5 Premier League teams will be going out as a minimum. Obviously, you might have more due to Southampton, Brentford, and Arsenal. But if you think about it, you go through into the quarterfinal, you're going to be playing someone half decent. But as long as you get a home draw, there's a chance. There's no reason why Spurs couldn't win this trophy. There's genuinely how I feel. There's no reason why we couldn't, as long as we go out there Wednesday and do our job. That's the key thing. Do our job. Agree on Odegaard. I really want to see him back fit and starting various games. Yeah, I think obviously let's not risk it because obviously when it's a muscle injury, you can't obviously risk it too much. But yeah, if he can give us 45 minutes, I'm keen on that. If we beat City, there will be an expectation of us to win. If we lose, it's us being Spursy. So let's have it then. Do you know what, goaltender? That is a great way to sum it up. Really, go out there, do your job, win it. People then go, all right, well, you beat the best team in England. Go and win it. All right, well, we've got the impetus to go and win it. It's 3 games after that point to win that trophy. And there's a chance, there's a chance you might get a Southampton, Stoke, or a Brentford, Sheffield Wednesday. Obviously, there's a chance that you might get someone even a lot harder, but there's no dig at Brentford. Please don't think there is. But if you're looking at the teams that are supposed to go through, those 2 are probably the weakest teams. No offense. Again, I actually quite like Brentford. But if you lose it, obviously, yeah, we're Spursy, aren't we? So look, let's see on that front. For me, 1-0. Get your ideas down in below. Let me know your prediction. Let me know your goal scorers. Let me know what you're thinking. Do you think you're going to go to penalties like me? Do you think we're going out on penalties? Do you think we're going through on penalties? For me, like I said, a scoring draw into penalties. And why not? Why not us? Let's just say, why not us? All right. That's all I'm going to say there. All right. Let me know down below what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching. So much, obviously, if you're watching this live, thank you for watching me and joining me this evening. Enjoy the rest of your evenings. Lone roundup out tomorrow morning, but enjoy the rest of your evenings. And I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Peace.